yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack to me,
yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack
It's
to me.
the WACCast podcast, yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack to me,
yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack to me. Whoa, 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 ho, ho, ho. What is up, Wack people? Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking in this Wack wisdom today. I hope everything is amazing for you all as always. I am your host, the Honorable OCT Octavius Haye, and this is the WACCast podcast. Of course, before we get into the topics for this episode, please make sure if you haven't already and you're on YouTube, to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified anytime we upload new content to this channel. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, make sure you go ahead and follow us so you'll also notified whenever we drop a new episode of the WACCast podcast for you. So with that being said, y'all ready to talk whack to him? Well, then let's talk whack to him. So y'all know. Y'all already know. Of course, I had to make a comment about Megan the Stallion going ahead and doing an interview with Gayle King, where she pretty much detailed the events that led to and afterwards the shooting that she alleges Tori Lanez did to, she alleged that Tory Lanez shot her. She went ahead and gave details about, the build up to that, the incident itself, the shooting, and then, of course, aftermath. Now, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about this. Of course, you all know, if you listen to the podcast regularly, this is kind of like the trial or the story of the podcast. Anytime there's new information on this, of course, I got to comment. So one of the things people were saying was, she didn't really look like she was crying for her. Looked like she was trying to cry, crack her voice up a little bit, but really wasn't no tears. The way she was acting really didn't make sense. There wasn't more tears coming out. She talked about how Tory was outside the window when he shot at her. So he was out the window shooting, told her to dance, and she even said that they didn't have a sexual relationship with each other. Now, I do believe something happened. Of course, something happened. It doesn't seem like anybody's really trying to come out to what really happened, but I will say this doesn't make any sense, her statements. And I'm not calling her a liar. I'm just saying, based off of previous things she said, first with describing how Tory was outside the window shooting, I thought she said she had her back turned to him, to the car, so she couldn't see. So that didn't make much sense to me. She said that it was an argument about her wanting to leave and nobody else wanted to leave. And the argument got worse and worse and worse. She said she got the car at one point and said she'd get back in the car. We almost at the house or whatever. She got back in the car and she said from there, I don't know how she got the car again, but said she got out again, and at that point he started shooting at her. And it was just a whole argument. She said everybody was mad about her for wanting to leave. Now, of course, the rumors that we've been heard, I say what really happened, but the rumors we've been hearing is that she got upset with him trying to talk to Kylie Jenner because remember they were all at Kylie Jenner's pool party. And she got upset about that. They all left, and it was discovered that Tory had been messing with Meg and Meg's friend, the other woman that was in the car. And that kind of started a huge argument. She wanted to leave, start kicking out the window, some people believe. That's how she cut her foot up. Another thing people are saying they believe it happened as far as the gun being fired and shrapnel or whatever being in her skin, is they think that some people saying Tory and the girl was fighting for the gun, and Tory might have been trying to stop her from being shot. But because she had her back turned, she didn't know that. And so maybe when she got hit, she turned around and just assumed Tory shot her. Now, she says that after she got shot, she started crawling to somebody's drive-thru, and Tory came apologizing, offering to give everybody $1 million. They don't say nothing. And she was like, just help me get in the car. As soon as they got in the car, or were heading towards the car, the cops came. Somebody had called the cops, had the helicopter around. We all know what happened. Had the helicopter, all the cops coming out. Now, initially she said she stepped on glass, and that's one of the reasons why everybody's saying she must have been kicking out the window. She said that was a lie. She only lied because she was trying to protect everybody. She was looking out for everybody because of the George Floyd incident. All right, now. Well, let me finish the story before I go with my opinion for real. So she was looking out for everybody because George Floyd had died. She was scared the cops would kill all of them. When she got to the hospital, she was still telling the same lie. But then the doctors came and said, "Hey, there's gun residue or bullet residue, whatever, in your foot." And then Tori was charged the next day, and her story started saying like, "Yeah, he shot me." Now, I don't know about the workings of the background. A lot of people saying that Rock Nation, a management group, kind of convinced her to just put it all on Tori. I don't know about all that. What I do know is a lot of stuff in this did not make any sense, okay? So let's go ahead and let's break this down. So, again, we already talked about her back towards him and not being able to see him, but now she can perfectly describe how it happened. She also then goes on to say that she never had a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez, that that's not true. She did take a awkwardly long pause before she said that. And to me, it's like if somebody lying on my name, they're like, "Did you have a sexual relationship?" I'll be like, "No, I didn't have sex with nobody. What you talking about? That girl crazy." You know, I'll be like, "No, that didn't happen." You know, now I take a long pause. No, I did not have a sexual relationship. But what really that's what really killed me. But what really kills me on top of that is just a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago when she was going off on academics saying that Tori was feeding him information, and she released text messages about Tori apologizing. She's like, "What you apologizing for then if you ain't shoot me?" And he said, "I was apologizing for messing with both of y'all, for two friends." And then she goes, and people forgetting about this. Nope, I didn't hear anybody, not even Act, talk about this. She goes and says, "Yeah, you was talking to two friends at the same time." Now, if y'all was just buddy and wasn't nothing happening, what'd be wrong with him talking with both of y'all at the same time? Megan, if you, Megan Thee Stallion, if you was just buddy with Tori like you claim, y'all just was bonding over losing parents, and there wasn't no intimate, no sexual relationship, then why was you tripping? Why was you tripping off him being cool with you and your friend? You said that, Megan. That's what you said. You said she said you was messing with or talking to two friends at the same time. So what if it ain't sexual? But that right there already killed it for me. I do not believe you, Megan. And I'm sorry. I hope that you're not lying. And I'm not gonna call you a liar. I'm just gonna say I don't believe this story. This doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't add up to me. Naturally, the turn of events, as you've been talking, this don't make sense. And that's probably an issue right there. You've been talking too much. So now some of the things are starting to conflict with each other. The initial lie, which is like, once you got away from him, why was you still lying? Once y'all was in the hospital safe and everything was calm and cool and guns went out, why was you still lying? And then you so quick to go ahead and just confess and say, "Yeah, you shot me, you did everything," right? It makes no sense. Or then to turn around and say you wasn't messing with this dude after you yourself admitted that he was talking to you and your friend. You tweeted it or put it on Instagram or something like that a few weeks ago. You was admitting to it. Now you on this interview with Gayle and not admitting to anything? I don't know. Again, like I always say, we gotta wait for the courts to decide what happened, but this just don't make any sense to me. And again, I am so upset that Tory Lanez cannot say anything. He's pretty much been silenced. Not pretty much, he has been. He's been silenced. He can't talk at all. We cannot get Tory Lanez's point of view on any of this. He talked before, he had to bail himself back out. Now she's going on talk shows, giving her whole story, getting the public to listen to her side, and Tori has to be quiet. I don't think that this is right. I don't think that this is fair. I think that as long as she wants to say something, he should be allowed. He doesn't have to talk to her. She has a restraining order. He doesn't have to talk to her, but Tori should be allowed to give his side of that story. He can talk to somebody. Doesn't have to address her. Just say, refute whatever claims you want to refute that she made. Whatever claims she made, you can refute those. But to just have to be quiet while she can just paint this narrative without any facts to back it up at this point. Now, I'm going to say, they did say in the interview, they did show in the interview that the friend said that Tory shot Meg, and they were showing that there was a hospital document, whatever they call it, saying that there were bullet shrapnel or debris or whatever you call that in her foot. But even still, that's not enough when she's saying like, he shot me, he did it, and Tory can't say anything, he has to be quiet. That's not fair. I don't think that's right, and she's already contradicting herself. I think Tory should be able to talk. I think Tory should be able to give his point of view. And I think that more people need to start remembering that she said that he was messing with two friends. She said he was talking to or messing with two best friends at the same time. What type of stuff is that? Or that was like talking bad about it. And if it was only y'all being cool with each other and talking about, you know, y'all traumas and comforting each other, then why would you have a problem with him sleeping with her and just being your homie? That don't make no sense. Clearly something else was going on between y'all that would lead to people thinking more of a sexual relationship for you to phrase it like that. He was messing with two friends at the same time. That's just what I think. And it just sucks that Tory can't say anything. He has to be quiet. Who knows how long this case has been going on? Who knows when Tory will be able to talk? It's just foul. Okay, so wow, y'all, what a difference a week makes. So last week I was talking about Wack 100, Hassan Campbell, 6ix9ine, all being on Academics podcast off the record. And I'm having a conversation and talking about a couple of things, being a little hectic because I think everybody, other than, you know, Wack 100 because he don't drink or smoke, everybody was probably feeling a little lit in there. So the conversation was going all over the place. And I even commented on Wack and Hassan having a couple of debates on a couple things, you know, about the reasons why black people killing each other being the one I talked about. They also had debates on if 6ix9ine was a king or not. Whatever. Watch the end of it. It'll make more sense, I guess. But then, bam, out of nowhere, they just going straight at each other. And what you thought was them leaving and being kind of cool and maybe working together in the future on some other things, it's just become full out beef. And we've had some collateral damage with this. So this all started, Wack was on Clubhouse, his favorite place, talking about the interview, the podcast with Hassan, and pretty much said like he felt like he pressed him, asked him about questions. Dude wasn't saying nothing. And he was kind of talking a little greasy, you know what I'm saying? You know how Wack talk if you listen to Wack. Talk a little tough about it. So Hassan was just like, what you talking about, man? I wasn't taking it that way. That we was there for fun. I didn't feel like that was supposed to be a confrontational type setting. I ain't think like that. And that became a whole thing. So then they start kind of beefing back and forth, and Wack was calling him a punk, and Hassan was saying all type of stuff like Wack is two-faced, and he thought he was cool. So then I'm like, okay, Wack just beefing with another dude. Now he gonna be on Clubhouse talking about him forever and make fun of him stuff. But then one of the questions that he said he asked Hassan though was about African Bambaataa allegedly molesting him, which I think Hassan, or doing some type of sexual, I don't know if it was full-on molestation, but doing some type of inappropriate, you know, sexual act or with a child, you know, with Hassan as it was a minor at the time. And I think he was just, you know, kind of downplayed it and was like, you know, he felt apologized or something like that. Maybe even gave some money to mom. I don't know. But Wack was looking at that like he should have did something then, and, you know, saying other times he should have did stuff. Well, this is when Wack talked too much. And I love Wack 100. He is the Wack father, but he was flapping them gums a little too much. And I don't think he expected this. I think I can see what his game plan was, but I don't think he was expecting this. Hassan Campbell recorded that conversation, and from what he has released out for all of us to hear, it has some stuff to do with, of course you all know, allegedly there's a sex tape out there with Nipsey Hussle and his baby mom before Lauren London and another man. And alleged in the recording, Wack is saying that Nipsey paid this other guy to have sex with Nipsey's baby mama at the time, baby mama, who's a girl at the time, and he was hitting her from the back, and the baby mama was performing, oral on the man, and it stated that once the man finished, in her mouth, Nipsey pulled her back and tongue kissed her with, the man's bodily fluids in her mouth, and then put it back onto the man, private area. So, of course, that blew up, and everybody's like, "What? Whoa!" That was just a huge, revelation, that nobody was even kind of expecting. He also talked about, Big U, Rolling 60s Crip, same gang as Nipsey, and talked about him pretty much in a way like extorting Nipsey, maybe kinda. And once Nipsey died, wanted to get 30% off of him and things like that. And just pretty much was saying Big U's a snake. You can't trust him. And he ain't got no power in LA. He be wearing sweatsuits. He ain't even like that. And just putting him down, which we hadn't heard him talk negatively about Big U at all in public. So we thought that they was cool. Wack saying they not cool. He also talked about he be pressing or stretching Wallow and Gilly, and just saying, like, talking a little shit. Maybe you could take it that way, maybe not, but I think really the Big U and the Nipsey thing is throwing people out. Now I don't know if Nipsey did that or not. I don't know if Big U was like that or not. I know is, Wack, why is you telling this dude that you don't even know all this information? Like, you talking too much to somebody you don't even know. You feed him too much information, too much game. Now, I know Wack will probably be like, I was just testing dude to see if he'd say something. But even if this is true and Wack says all this stuff is true, then why would you tell him the truth? Why wouldn't you tell a lie to this dude to see if he repeat it? And then you'd be like, okay, I can't trust dude. He told something. That was a lie. I just lied to you and told you that. But instead, you are on here just talking trash, exposing like secrets about Nipsey that dude didn't even know about. And a lot of us didn't know about. Now, he's saying people knew. I didn't know. I've heard him talk to some 60s who didn't know, but don't believe it. Now people want to see the tape. People want it, And a lot of people want the proof. If a man's name is going to be besmirched, they say, we got to hear this. Or we got to see this. I don't want to see it. I wish we never heard of any of this stuff. I don't know. If he did do that, if that's what Nipsey was into, then that's what Nipsey was into, and it kind of probably should have been quiet. Wack brought up a good point. He said, that really didn't hurt me. That hurt Nipsey. That hurt his legacy. That hurt his family, what he did. So he putting out all this personal information. And while that is true, I get where Wack is coming from. You're right. Hassan Campbell dropping that recording of you talking about the Nipsey's sex tape and Nipsey possibly being, bisexual. Yes, that would hurt him. That would hurt Nipsey more than it would hurt you, Wack. But you should have never even said that to him. That should have never hit his ears if he didn't know about it. If you Wack 100 calls himself protecting Nipsey and keeping the information from getting out. But if you got loose lips and you telling everybody and you spreading the word, you ain't really doing too much protecting. Because look what happened. Now this dude recorded it and is putting it out, and you can probably try to say you want to wash your hands clean, but you shouldn't have been running your mouth, Wack, in the first place. If this is true. And if it's not true, and you gonna continue to let this narrative play because you don't want to look like a sucker, that's foul too. So really, I think either way you foul about this with the Nipsey situation. Now with the Big U situation, if y'all ain't fooling with each other no more, y'all ain't fooling with each other anymore. That's fine. But I hope that you're not lying on his name, also talking about he was trying to, get money off of Nip when he passed. And if that's not the case, because that would be foul. Even if y'all not boys no more, Big U ain't said one word about you. He still ain't talking about you. He's just posting clips and saying he ain't got time for this nonsense right now, which I feel him. And I wish you didn't have time for the nonsense sometimes too, Wack. I think you just got to hold this L. I know Wack is a smart dude. Wack know how to talk. He gonna try to talk his way, and he has been trying to talk his way out of taking that L. But as my mama showed me when I was younger, no matter how much you try to talk and whine and cry and run away, eventually, that belt gonna hit you, Eventually that belt gonna hit you. So just take it, Wack, and move forward and take this as a lesson that, you can't be playing like this and don't be talking so much. I like you, Wack, but you talk too much, brother. And it's not about being tough. It's about just like this. Now you call yourself looking out for somebody, trying to hide this dirty secret, but you the main reason why I was exposed, because you telling people who recording you. I don't know. And Hassan Campbell aside, I get why he recorded Wack. I do. Wack, for whatever reason, he get cool with people, and then they have a falling out. And I feel Hassan. He's like, I don't want him trying to say I lied on him or trying to paint a false narrative. I'm gonna record this dude for my safety, because right or wrong, the perception of Wack is he'll turn on you, and you won't know why, or you won't see it coming. He'll turn on you. So I get why Hassan did that. It's all snakish behavior from both of them, of course. Of course, that's what it is. So clearly this was all, I think both of them just was attempting to get over it on the other. And unfortunately, Nipsey's name is now kind of being thrown through the mud a little bit. And, I don't like that. I just hope that nobody try to do nothing to either one of them men over this. But, they both talk about they tough, so they probably be able to handle themselves. But it's crazy, man. So what's going on with Benzino, y'all? It all started with people thinking he was hating on his daughter, kind of putting her music career down, or causing her, causing her to have issues, like announcing her collaborating with Nicki ahead of time. I do know that him clowning her first week sales showed to be not true. That wasn't him. That was a fake account. He wasn't clowning her for, her 9,000 or 11,000 first week sales. But even with that to the side, clearly they don't have the best relationship. Something's going on, and then all these things coming out in his personal life. So his sister said that allegedly his sister said that he had messed with her daughter, which would be his niece. They had sex. He said that, or it was said that he was in a hotel room. Our show, we saw he was in a hotel room with Cavario, and it led to some gay rumors. And then, of course, the trans recording came out where he was on the phone, he admitted it was him on the phone with a transsexual woman talking, and it seemed like he was talking about them being together and keeping it a secret, and not wanting to tell nobody. Now, Benzino came out and said he wasn't talking like that. He was saying his I don't know if they're still technically married, but he separated from Althea, and she was trying to put out there he had messed with a transgender, and so he was talking about it from that point of view, saying that, I don't do this. If something like this were to come out, it would cost me. But not saying that he's actually doing that, just saying if it was the accuser coming out, and he's saying he don't like transgender women. He don't look at that type of stuff, when he's watching his adult film on the internet. I will say, if you listen to the recording, because you can go listen to it, there are a couple moments in it that don't make no sense. If he's only saying he don't want a lie to come out, he says things in a certain way that don't make no sense. And then at one point, the transgender woman calls him daddy. Of course, they could have been muting the phone saying that part so that Benzino wouldn't hear, because they were recording it. The transgender woman was recording, so she could have been muting the phone so that Benzino wouldn't hear that part, saying daddy and all that. But even, I think in the recording, it's been a few weeks since I heard it, Benzino was even saying things like, other than you, or you the only one, or things like that. I don't know. Maybe I just took it that way. But the conversation just didn't make no sense. Like, at no point in that recording was he like, this is not happening. We not messing with each other. Why would she lie on my name? It really did come across like he was trying to tell the transgender woman to keep quiet on their relationship. I don't know. Then he came out, him and 50 are kind of going back and forth now. And he came out pretty much saying that Coi Leray betrayed him by working with 50 and other things like this. and hope that they can be cool again. And I don't know, it just got me wondering. Oh, he also caught Althea with another dude. I think they was just walking together, exercising together, taking a walk. He caught them. They was about to fight. The police had to come. That became a whole thing. It's looking real bad for Benzino right now. There's a lot of his personal life is getting put out there on the internet, and he's denying some things, and some things we see. He's challenged 50 Cent to a celebrity boxing match. He signed a contract. Of course, 50's not going to do that, but I mean, you see what it is, and we've heard him having money problems. Now all this bad press is coming on him. Him and his daughter's relationship getting strained. We can all make fun of people, and jokes. I appreciate jokes as much as anybody. I'm not super sensitive, but I just hope that Benzino's okay, because it's a lot of pressure on him. It's a lot of stress on him. And it's a lot of people talking down on him. He's not looking in the best light. There's some stories that are coming out to not be true, and you're just hearing a lot of negative on Benzino's name, and you don't want anything bad to happen to somebody. I just hope that he's okay, he gets okay, and he takes a break. What Coy Lanez said, maybe she was saying it in a kind of like disrespectful way, but I think the essence of what she was saying is, probably step back and get out of here right now. Not because it's her time, but not because it's Coy Lanez's time, but for Benzino's own health and well-being, mental health, he should probably take a step back. I mean, if you see him on that recording where he's talking to the cops after he almost gets into it with the guy out there was talking to, you can see him. He's shaking up. He's disturbed. He's sweating. It's like he seems troubled. He definitely seems troubled. I'm not here to make fun of a man who's down. I want him to get back up and uplift himself and fix that relationship with his daughter. Work out whatever happens with Althea. If he wants to mess with a transgender woman, then that's your life. But if it's not what happened, then it'll pass, bro. But maybe right now social media is just not the spot for you, Benzino, and hopefully you can take some time away from that, clear your head, and get back out here, make this money and live the best life you can, bro. But yeah, it's just looking bad right now for him. But nothing but the best. He's in my prayers. Hope he's in yours too. So that's the show for today. I want to thank you all for getting this Wack wisdom, tuning in this week, and I hope that you return. Get a little bit more from me next week. Once again, before I go, if you haven't already, please make sure, if you're on YouTube, to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, follow the page so you get notifications whenever we drop new content. And I think that's all for today again. So this is the WACCast podcast. I am whacking off.
It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.